I've transplanted the avocado tree. Just about to be fully root bound in a tiny pot over there. I think you can see right there, yeah. And then, that was what it was sitting on. One down, technically, 2 to go. I don't understand why it never actually shows a lot of precipitation or fog. It cuts right through it as if it's not there. But it's raining. Well, drizzling, but you know. It's precipitous precipitation, and it's July 28th. Howdy. Yeah. Yeah, pull in and I see you like, hey, look, it's another one. I love it. That's great.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, these cars are great.
Yeah, they are. Again, I wish the colors were more accurate, but in the lighting, it's actually a little bit almost overexposed in terms of how white it is. The white balance is way off, but if you got the actual accurate color, it is so freaking beautiful right here. All the yellow and the leaves contrasting with the greens and browns. Look at that. How pretty is that, man? Like, what? A little bit of an exposure, toying with exposure, a little bit of toying with white balance. And it's almost exact, if not exact, to actually what it looks like in real person, in real life, in person. So that means it's going to get really dark at certain angles like this. When you face actually to the light, it gets darker. I've never understood that about photography and videography, but it does. You think it'd be the opposite, but... So... Also, there was a bun, fecund. There was a very large, actually, cottontail that's printed across the path up here as I passed by, which is really cool. I guess this is as close as I'm going to get to accurate in terms of sky, unfortunately. Except that I guess the exposure is still a little low when I pointed up there, but... Huh. Yeah, even more interesting, I just wanted to document this too, is that it seems like just about as far as you can see, it's clearing out. Like, look at all this blue sky. All the things that were clouds just a few minutes ago above us are dissipating and thinning out to blue sky. It's almost just like a bubble of high pressures opened up over us instead. Again, in the middle of a supposed bomb cyclone atmospheric river combo. Come on, man. More documentation and record keeping. This little pond they made here at Cooper Mountain Nature Park is notably a lot lower than it typically is this time of year. It's late November 2024. We're again apparently in the middle of as you can see, a bomb cyclone and atmospheric river. Very clear that that's the case, as it's been like this all day. Nevertheless, like normally this water's way higher. I've been here enough times to know over the years this water is extremely low for this time of year. So I just find this really curious, given the circumstances. I mean, it's really low. Usually the water's all the way up to the edge on this side, like just below the actual start of the angle right here. It's like just up to that, and then it looks like a kestrel, and then all the way up to the edge over here, and like kind of right about there and around. Over there, it's usually about, like, I'd say 4 to 6 inches higher. So I mean, it's notably low for this time of year. So it's good to have this on record, because it's It's ridiculously low. And it's interesting considering we're closest to historical average weather as we've had in a hell of a long time. Like, since I was a kid, I'm talking like since like 2000, maybe 6 at latest, probably more like 2004, 2005. It's really been that long here in Northwest Oregon since we've had, it's like 18, 19 years since we've had this close to precipitation throughout since like autumn of last year. As close to historical average as possible, but alas, for whatever reason, despite that, I mean, we aren't there obviously, but despite that, it's actually lower than normal. So, just really odd. Look at how awesome that looks. Like, what? The colors are nowhere near accurate though to what you actually see if you were here, but it still looks just as awesome without the accurate colors as it does in person right now. Take it whatever was proposed to go in this lot, along with about 3/4 of or 2/3 of the parking right here. Since this is what it normally looks like even on a busy day. It has like a few more that go out to about 1/3 of the or 3/4 of the way there to the other end, and then maybe about to where that red car is, up to maybe just sort of. Probably this way too, this way and this way to where that red car is, and like that whole section is like the most it ever fills usually at a peak. So TriMet basically uses this park and ride like once a month, maybe once every couple of months, to do TriMet lift training, which is Lyft is their paratransit service. And they use this empty lot, specifically this side of it, so from this set of trees and these islands this way to the west, they use it for their training, like once to 2 times every month or 2, because again they know it's just always empty and it gets no use, so they figured they might as well get some use out of it, and that's all the use they get out of it. And that said, the reason why I mentioned that is because, like, I think it was a year or 2 ago, either last year or the year before, so 2023, 2022, it was proposed that pretty much this whole thing just about would be repurposed and turned into some sort of a low and affordable income housing complex with some decent density, which would make sense, like more density than the complex that I live in, or the rest of these. Everything in this block is 3 stories. I don't think there's a single building that's more than that, other than the L building of our complex, and then obviously the building on the corner over there, which I think is 4/1, or it's 5/1. It'd be good in that essence, but at the same time, it's like nothing happened, nothing changed. So I'm not sure if TriMet just actually bailed on that plan or what, because obviously, just like Jehovah's Witnesses or government or whatever else, they pretend they're one thing when in reality they're just a property development firm, a real estate firm. So something else I wanted to actually talk about and mention is again, all the experts in like quote unquote climatology, meteorology, always consistently, no matter where you are in the world or in the country, constantly telling us that, oh, we're in a drought, or oh, literally any weather events or types of weather you get, whether consistently or not, is somehow due to very aggravated climatic change and global warming and all this other BS. And this whole last, like, I'd say year and a third or so has seen enough precipitation, not just here in the northwest part of Oregon, or here in the northwest, or here in the northern hemisphere for that matter, but you know, to cause like record-breaking floods and everything. But just like everywhere we go right now, this is, especially here at home, this is about as close as you can get to historical average weather, especially for this time of year specifically. Like even this summer was very much on par with our typical summers. So like it's really frustrating to constantly hear them make these claims and say these things that are clearly untrue. Because for those of us that are born and raised and we grow our entire lives in these places, it just becomes, especially when we're genuine environmentalists like myself, it's just incredibly agitating to hear all these climatologists and supposed climate experts and, you know, everything related to these topics just lying through their teeth for propaganda all the time. So like it just drives me to want to do more aggressive record keeping non-stop for the rest of my fucking days that I live on this earth, just to prove a point that they're lying and they're wrong. But there's been so much flooding, actually, like say from winter of last year through spring of this year. There's been so much flooding in the Tualatin Basin. It's incredible. I have footage from March of how incredibly flooded the entirety of, say, Jackson Bottom and the areas south of it were along the river, to where as far as you could see, you could just see nothing but deep water. This area of Oregon averages 42.5 inches of rain a year, at least it's supposed to. That's the historical average. However, we just haven't seen that since like 2006 or so. Certainly 2008 and 9. So the last like year and a third has been really exciting for me, because it's like it's about damn time that we finally get some of our wetness back and our rains and proper temperatures and everything like that. It's been beautiful to see. It's not 100% accurate, but it's you know, it's close to what it was like when I was a little kid growing up. So just wanted to make note of that, because like everywhere you go, even in this field and even back there where it's actually an aggressive slope down into the primate torture chambers, they call the vaccine and gene therapy center for OHSU, the mutants as I call them, is you have just like big and small and puddles of every shape and size everywhere, because of just the little bits of rain we've gotten in the last like 48 hours, which hasn't actually been all that much. It's been like maybe about an inch to an inch and a quarter in about 48 hours. That's it. I mean, that's not really anything at all, because again, when I was a kid growing up, we get an insane amount of rain, to the where literally sometimes there was periods in autumn and winter where we would get, I quite literally, and it's not an exaggeration, a week straight, day and night, of nothing but genuine sheets of rain, just torrential downpours levels of rain, to where I guarantee this exact spot I'm walking through and showing would have been wildly flooded. That little drainage ditch would have been well over its banks. Well over its banks. I mean, this is literally like marshland. You can see the shine of the water everywhere you walk. You're actually walking through technically water, swamp, basically. This is therefore, once again, very close to normal. So, say sometime next year, in 2025, if the climatologists and the supposed weather and climate experts keep trying to push the narrative like, oh, well, actually, you've still been drier than normal, or you've still been warmer than normal. This is, again, one of the reasons why I like to make documentation, so I can prove it's a pathological lie that they keep pushing. The important question you always got to ask is, why do they keep pushing that? Obviously, they have an agenda. What is it? That's what you have to ask yourself. Check this out. The sun went down when I hit something. On my way to the strip, now I'm just flossing.
Oh, and this is arriving late, so this is not really a Christmas gift, but I know you already have one of these, but you didn't have the other three.
My Achilles just got pissed at me suddenly. Yes!
What everybody's saying.